Three-man booth, NFL Wildcard Weekend edition, or Black Monday post edition, I suppose. We've got a lot of coaches getting fired. Dan Salem, Phil, and Bud. I want to start right there, Phil, because the Giants allowed Dave Gettleman to retire and then decided to pass on Black Monday and then fired Joe Judge all by him lonesome on Tuesday, which was both hilarious and predictably New York at this point. What do you got?
Well, apparently, I didn't know that Gettleman's been in the league for that long. That's good for him. So he's retiring. And it was probably one of those things where, you say you retire or we're going to fire you.
Right.
Either way, he was out. I mean, it was reported, weeks or a couple months ago that he wasn't returning. And as far as Joe Judge goes, I mean, listen, there's no results there, right? Two seasons of 4 or 5 wins. Can you put it all on him? He played the hand he was dealt. But the fact that they were getting a new GM means he was probably going to be out anyway, because more times than not, the new GM wants to, bring in his own people.
Yeah. Well, and you know what's interesting? Because we went through the BS with Adam Gase, and the players just quit on him. And it really did seem like the players quit on Joe Judge second half of this football season.
Well, he also shot himself in the foot. I mean, his post-game conferences were, embarrassing. And I texted Phil, when you quarterback sneak on the 8-yard line,
Twice, second year down. Yeah.
You have basically given up.
Well, everyone was harping on that third down sneak, but he snuck on the play before on second. I don't get what the heck that was about.
The explanation was so they don't get sacked in a fumble or a safety, or which probably could have happened if you've seen any of this crap that's been going on the last 4 weeks. I mean, these quarterbacks are turnover machines. So a fumble 6 or whatever, safety, whatever you want to call it.
He didn't trust anybody on his team to throw the football. And
they can't throw it.
But he didn't even trust Saquon Barkley to run the football.
Who's blocking for him? He has no lanes.
So you give it to Jake Fromm and let him run up the middle?
Him 5 yards in the backfield.
But why even show up? Why don't they just forfeit the game then if they're going to go QB sneak on 2nd and 11?
You know what? It would have saved a lot of people 3.5 hours of misery.
I guess it
sounds like just a lot of excuses by Giant fans, right, Dan?
I'm not giving you an excuse.
Absolutely.
I'm glad the season's over.
I love that the Giants fans were rehashing the free soda that was given to them because they gave away that free soda, like a free medium Pepsi or something on one of their giveaway days, and it was like they gave Joe Judge got a free medium Pepsi on his way out or something.
Matt, when the Knicks were really bad years ago, the last game of the season, and maybe the Rangers did this too. They would literally give away the rest of the food that was in the concourse. So people were walking out with garbage bags of popcorn. It's called Fan Appreciation Night.
Well, Bud and I were pretty sure that he was going to get canned because they just got worse and worse and worse. And as you said, they were the worst team in the league by the end of the year. But Phil, you were you were defending him. I mean, I can't say I didn't want him to succeed, but
I'm just saying more times than not, a second-year coach with a bare cupboard of the offensive line and no quarterback usually gets the benefit of the doubt, but that's not what happened here.
No, and this is
I'm telling you, the reason he was fired is because he made the organization and himself look like an idiot.
Well, that could be true
with
too.
Those post-game.
Yeah.
I think if he kept his mouth shut 3 weeks ago and didn't go on that rant and blame other teams and call other teams clown shows and all this other stuff, he probably would be the coach still.
That's probably valid. It'll be interesting to see who's on the short list here because they're already interviewing GM. So maybe they wait till the GM is there before there's a coach selected. Because again, GM likes to pick their own coach.
Well, I mean, Flores is going to get snatched up because Miami he obviously didn't. He yelled at Tua and he didn't get along with the owner, so that's why he was fired. But he's a pretty damn good coach considering.
Right.
It makes zero sense to me. I mean, the team goes 9-8. And you fire him, and you went on a 7-game win streak. Well, that team could have easily given up at 1-7, and they didn't. And you want to talk about bad offensive lines, Phil? I mean, they have one of the worst offensive lines in the league, and they were still able to win some football games, and he was still able to keep them going.
So with Joe Judge's firing, there is not a single Bill Belichick assistant as a head coach anymore. They've all been fired. So yeah, I don't understand why Belichick's track record is so poor with his assistants going on to coach elsewhere. All right,
who's gonna overpay for Jim Harbaugh?
Oh, well, it happened.
Chicago.
Yeah.
It would make sense for him to go to Chicago.
Or he's going to Miami, which is why they let go of Flores.
But the owner said that he's not going after Jim Harbaugh, which could just be
right.
smoke. But
well, that means he absolutely is going after it.
Right.
Right. Those guys tend to say the exact opposite of what they do. Just like this was right. Just like the Giants came out and said that Joe Judge and Daniel Jones are both going to be back next season. So Daniel Jones is on the hot seat for getting released.
I mean, there's nothing in the draft, so it's not like anyone's getting excited. I think they picked 5 and 7.
Well, I know, and you got your sights on Russell Wilson. It'll be up to the new GM. I heard DK Metcalf might be on the trading block also, which him and Ridley are both top tier receivers available. The Jets will have some opportunity there to snatch one of those guys up if they want them. All right, before we talk more Jets, let's roll into our picks, Phil, for the wildcard playoff round. I know we're about halfway through the show here, but you nailed the season. I think 21, 22 wins on the year was excellent. Bud, you and I each ended up a game or 2 games over 500, so positive, or at least average in terms of betting. What do you got for us for the wild card round, Phil?
I mean, listen, there's no chance in hell, and now that I say this, they'll probably win. The Eagles not only are they not beating the Buccaneers, they're not even going to cover the 8.5. So give me Tampa Bay all day. That's just not going to happen. And then I'm taking San Francisco over Dallas.
Yeah, that's a big upset pick. I mean, I'm all for the home favorites. I also
Is it really an upset? Dallas has only given up 3.
No, I know that, but San Francisco's been overrated all season, and
but they're getting healthy at the right time, and they are playing good football right now.
Yeah, I don't.
Deebo Samuel throws touchdowns, catches touchdowns, and runs touchdowns in.
Okay, I mean, I'd like to see it. Don't get me wrong. It's just the Cowboys at home. I mean, they have a really good offense. I don't know
if the Cowboys lose, Mike McCarthy will be fired shortly thereafter as well.
All right, so sorry, I'm picking back in on the Buccaneers, and then I'm gonna also take another home favorite in the Bengals. I mean, I just think they're a better football team. I think they're gonna put up more points. They're only giving up 5.5, so they win at home. But you got home favorites, or are you going any underdogs?
No, I'm taking Buffalo over New England. That game's going to be brutal, and New England's not going to run the ball 50 times like they did the last time. They're going to have to throw the football.
They might.
Well, I mean, if they do and they win, shame on Buffalo for not figuring that out.
But I think that's the game plan. You got to keep the ball out of Josh Allen's hands, and they can't throw the ball. It's going to be cold as hell.
You don't think they can unleash Mac? They can't unleash Mac Jones.
You could try.
Is there anything to unleash at this point of the year? I don't know. He's a rookie. It's tough to say.
And then I'm taking the Rams over Arizona.
Yeah. If LA doesn't win that game, I mean, they have to. They just have to. The Cardinals are so down.
They have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Cardinals have not played well the last 3 weeks. And neither have the Rams, by the way. But I just think that overall, talent-wise, the Rams they're built to win. So, I mean, they need to.
Yep, I agree. Now, none of us touched the Pittsburgh-Kansas City game. We all think the Steelers are going to lose. What about, do you think they're going to cover? It's like a 14-point spread, right?
I felt that one was too easy. I thought that was too easy of a pick.
So, yeah, you don't think they're going to cover? I mean, they're playing close football games.
No.
Kansas City's defense is suspect. Maybe Big Ben goes out on a shootout high note.
Have you seen the way Ben's been throwing the football?
There was a really good opportunity for both the Chargers and the Raiders to end Ben Roethlisberger's career with some consent by consenting to tie. They chose not to. The Raiders won, and Chargers got kicked out of the playoffs, and Steelers moved on. But
what was the bet over there in LA after that happened?
Oh, I mean, everyone loves the Raiders here, so they wanted them to win. I don't know, but then it's definitely more of a Raiders town than it is a Chargers town. I feel like after the Chargers lost the week before, I expected them to miss the playoffs, so I wasn't surprised.
I texted Phil at the beginning of that game, and I told him, I said, it would just make sense if both teams just took 3 knees and punted, and took 3 knees and punted. A tie gets both of them in.
We have talked a lot about the Giants. I feel like the Jets ended their season on a reasonably positive uptick, even if they lost and I mean, they had a horrible year overall, but like there was at least a positive feeling around the team at the end of the year. Before we wrap up the show, buddy, you got any thoughts on the Jets? I mean, it was what you expected, I suppose.
Yeah, pretty much. They played better the last
He
4
did
weeks.
call at the beginning of the season.
No, he did, absolutely.
You know, I like the fact that he's not turning the football over, which is good. Their defense is, I mean, just atrocious. They need to figure out what they want to do on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, the good thing is they got Mosley, who's like wants to stick around, and they have some other playmakers. They just need to really fill in those holes.
They've needed this for years and years and years. They need outside pass presence. I mean, just they have no defensive ends to speak of. Their linebackers are slow, other than C.J. Mosley, who is borderline slow. Their cornerback play is not good. Their safety play is suspect. I mean,
I feel pretty good about what our rookies accomplished this year. I feel pretty good about our head coach. I mean, the jury's out on his staff. I don't know if he'll make any changes or not. Probably not.
I would change the defensive coordinator in a second, but you have no talent on the defensive side of the ball. So if you get some talent, maybe that'll help, and then you can make a determination. I mean, this is a defensive coach. I mean, he must have been pretty embarrassed that their defense was ranked last in the league.
Lost 25 pounds this season.
He did, yeah.
Who did?
The coach.
I think they were talking about Robert Saleh lost 25 pounds this season.
I wish I could lose 25 pounds.
That's a grind. That's a grind.
Yeah, I think that's stress weight loss, unless he's working out with the players. Probably not. But Joe Judge threw a pizza party for his staff because obviously that's the tough thing. All the coaches get fired along with the head coach. When the head coach goes, none of them get to keep their jobs.
Well, there's nothing better than some dominoes after you get fired. So
yeah, perfect. Right.